There's a lot of Brene Brown stuff on the website, so it's probably no secret that I like her work. There's the 3-minute animated videos on blame and empathy, which got added just in the last year or so. So if you haven't seen those, you can go take a look at those. Those are week 6. And of course, there's the 21-minute talk of Brene's on vulnerability that went viral about 10 years ago. I just looked at it yesterday. It has had 18 million views. I was looking back at some of the things that she wrote. One of her books is called "I Thought It Was Just Me," and you've probably had the experience of being with somebody or a group of people, and you're nervous about sharing something, thinking that others are going to judge you because it was so personal, or it seemed like nobody else was thinking what you were thinking. But what happened was the opposite of what you expected, and when you shared it, it brought the other people closer to you, and that's really not unusual. And the complete subtitle of Brene Brown's book, "I Thought It Was Just Me," is just 2 words. It isn't. That's the whole subtitle. And Carl Rogers once said that which is most personal, thoughts and feelings that you think are yours alone, are actually most universal. And I'll say that again. That which is most personal is most universal. And that's actually a profound truth. It's most often what we think is only our thought is also shared by the people that are just not saying it, don't have the courage that you might have had to share that. And I might have shared with you in another context or another meeting an interaction I had with an Intel executive 25 years ago that relates to this kind of dynamic. And I had to call him up, and his name was Paul, and tell him that I was going to miss an important meeting, a meeting actually that was called for me. And I was supposed to be flying to Portland to work out some technical issues with a product of mine. This is when I was doing computer work, and it was a product Intel was marketing. But I realized only a few days before that a special dinner that Lauren and I had planned for our daughter Tracy's birthday was on the very same day as the meeting. And I promised her I'd be there. And Paul, the Intel manager who was coordinating the meeting, was talking to, he'd spent weeks working out schedules and travel with the Intel engineers and marketing managers who I'd be meeting with. And I knew he would be upset. And sure enough, when I told Paul I needed to reschedule the meeting, he went ballistic. He said, "Are you kidding me?" So we spent a month coordinating travel and schedules for everyone. You asked for this meeting. It's your product. What could possibly be more important? And I quickly tried to think of some sort of business reason that could satisfy him, like some big deal I had got, and I realized that nothing I could make up was going to be acceptable. And Paul was one of these hard-nosed, result-oriented, no nonsense, no excuses kind of managers that Intel was known for, and is, I guess. And I knew nothing I could make up was going to satisfy him. I didn't know what to do, so I just gulped and I told him the truth. And I promised my daughter that I'd be there for her birthday dinner that we've been planning for her. And you know what he said? He said, "Oh." He said, "How old is she?" I said, 9. And he said, "So my son's 8. If I promised him I'd be there for a special dinner and they canceled, it would break his heart. You can't miss her dinner. We'll just reschedule." And that was literally the last time he ever mentioned it. We did reschedule the meeting, it went fine. And we worked together smoothly for years, never even mentioned it once after that. And he's the kind of guy who would remember things and bring them back. And had I not had the emotional courage to share with him what I was afraid would result in an explosion from him, the interaction would have gone much differently. And Brene Brown sometimes mentions where the word courage comes from. It comes from the Latin word for heart, cor, C-O-R. And she says that courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. There's a story about a journalist who asked a famous bullfighter, he says, "You have so much courage, it must be great not to feel fear." And the bullfighter just scoffed and he says, to fight a bull without fear, that's stupid. But to not fight a bull because of fear, that's cowardice. To fight a bull with fear, that's courage. And that's really Brene's message.